Hello students, today we continue with the part A, wherein we have already completed the speed and velocity part. A new part related to speed and velocity is your acceleration. Today we deal with acceleration. Now normally in everyday life, the car which is moving on a road, any vehicle which is moving on a road, it keeps on changing its velocity. कभी स्लो चलता है, कभी फास्ट चलता है, अचानक सिग्नल पे रुक गया. So it has to change its velocity continuously, either to increase the velocity or to decrease the velocity. So depending upon whether it is increasing or decreasing, we are going to define a new terminology called as acceleration. So what do you actually mean by acceleration? Acceleration is the rate of change of velocity, with time. So here again it is a rate, but the change in velocity with respect to time. When you say change in velocity, there has to be two different velocities. That is, we define, for example, initial velocity. I had already told you beforehand, initial velocity we denote it by the letter u, and the final velocity we denote it by v. So when you say change of velocity, then what is your change of velocity? Change of velocity becomes your final velocity minus initial velocity, that is v minus u. This is simply change in velocity, but it is with respect to time. That means acceleration can be written as change in velocity with respect to time. So your change in velocity, just now we have proved it is v minus u, and the time is denoted by t. For acceleration we use the letter a, small a. So this is your derivation for acceleration, that is v minus u upon t. Now there are two cases in this. For example, initially the car is at rest. For example, I am just giving you an example. If the car is at rest, you say that initially there was no velocity, no speed, that is 0 meters per second. But later on, after accelerating, after increasing the velocity has increased and become some 10 meters per second. So can you see here v is 10 and u is 0. That means v is greater than u. When you put up the value in this, you are going to get a positive answer. Whenever you get a positive answer, we called it as an acceleration. But on the other hand, the other case, suppose if the car was already moving means initially it is moving with some velocity. For example, 20 meters per second, it is already moving. But when the brakes are applied, obviously the velocity or the car will go to stop. That is, your final velocity will become 0 by reducing and ultimately becomes 0. So can you see here that your u is greater than v, or in other words, your final velocity is less than the initial velocity. So in such case, where v is less, you get a negative answer, and such a negative answer or negative acceleration is called as retardation. Also called as deceleration. Remember the terminologies, retardation and deceleration. This is your proof and the explanation about acceleration. So let me once again revise all the three. That is, the acceleration is actually defined as the rate of change of velocity with respect to time. Rate means upon, change of velocity, change in velocity upon time, with respect to time, that's why upon time. But I said change in velocity means there has to be two different velocities, where initially it was moving with some speed, some velocity, and finally with some velocity. So initially is normally denoted by u and finally it is denoted by v. So when it is change in velocity, it becomes final velocity minus initial velocity, that is v minus u upon the time t, and acceleration is denoted by a. Then I have covered up how the value of u and v decides whether it is positive acceleration or negative acceleration. When your final velocity is greater than your initial velocity, it is called as positive acceleration, whereas when your final velocity is less than the initial velocity, the answer comes out to be negative, and such a negative acceleration is called as retardation or deceleration. Getting it? This is about acceleration. But one more thing to add up upon it is acceleration. Just now we said acceleration. Acceleration is change in velocity. So when I say change in velocity, the term velocity comes into picture. Velocity comes into picture. But already, as discussed before, velocity is a vector quantity. And if velocity is a vector quantity, your acceleration also becomes a vector quantity. Getting it? Why do we say acceleration to be a vector quantity? Because velocity is a vector, and velocity because displacement is a vector. And why displacement? Because direction is required. So in short, I can say that acceleration also requires direction. We proceed to add on about the units. Now, as we said, acceleration is change in velocity upon time. That means when I decide the unit for acceleration, it should be the unit of velocity and unit of time. Your unit of velocity was meters per second. Your unit for velocity was meters per second. Upon the velocity, the unit for time is again seconds. So this seconds, when it comes up, this is already upon, and there is one more upon. So ultimately when I take it up, it becomes meters per second square. Please remember, meters per second square. This is your unit in SI system. Same is true when acceleration is measured in CGS system, wherein we write centimeters per second for velocity, and for time it is seconds. When it comes up, it becomes centimeters per second square. This is your unit in CGS system. So this is about unit. How do we express acceleration in SI unit and CGS unit? So we now continue with the different type of accelerations as expressed for speed, like uniform and non-uniform. Same way for velocity also we discussed uniform velocity and non-uniform velocity. So same here we discuss for acceleration, that is uniform acceleration. Now when do we say it is a uniform acceleration? When there is equal change in velocity in equal interval of time. When a car or a vehicle is moving, when there is equal change in velocity, that is v minus u ka value remains same and same for each distances, then in the same interval of time we call it as uniform acceleration. That is equal change in velocity, equal change in velocity, equal change in velocity with equal amount of time at each interval is called as uniform acceleration. Getting it? Same we go for non-uniform. When it is non-uniform, or we call it as variable, non-uniform acceleration. Non-uniform acceleration, unequal change. There is unequal change in velocity, but in equal interval of time. Equal interval of time, we call it as an non-uniform acceleration. For example, here the difference v minus u is different, is something. Here v minus u is different from the first one. Here difference between v minus u is something different. So at each interval, though the time may remain same, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, but here the difference v minus u is different, different and different. So there is unequal change in velocity, but the time remains the same. Then we call it as a non-uniform acceleration. Getting it? Just a differentiation between uniform and non-uniform. They can specify only for definition part. So further we proceed about an important topic, acceleration. Just now what we discussed was acceleration when moving along a vertical path. Jaise I told you example of vehicles only. I told you examples of vehicles, cars, bicycles, bikes accordingly. But what about if the object is moving in an upward or a downward direction? So when an object is moving either upward or a downward direction, a new picture comes into the chapter. It is gravity. It is gravity or gravitational force. So because the gravitational force will act upon the body wherein the acceleration will keep on changing. So here when it is acceleration for a vertically moving body, we define it by acceleration due to gravity. Acceleration due to gravity. Now this acceleration due to gravity is denoted by a small letter g. Acceleration due to gravity is denoted by a small letter g. Now how do we define this acceleration due to gravity? Just now I said it is for a object moving vertically upward or downward. Can I call it as a freely falling body? Yes, I can call it. So when a body falls, freely under gravity, just now I said gravitational force. So under that gravitational force, when an object falls, the acceleration produced in the body. Why the acceleration is produced in the body? It is due to the Earth's gravitational attraction, because everything is attracted towards the center of the earth. Attracted is called the acceleration due to gravity. Getting it? So acceleration due to gravity denoted by g can be defined as when a body falls freely, under gravity. Gravity is acting in a downward direction. The acceleration produced, the speed which it has increased or increment in the velocity which is produced in the body due to the Earth's gravitational force or attraction is called as acceleration due to gravity. Just now I said g, it is denoted by g. So now let us discuss now if the body is falling from top position to in the downward direction. It is moving in a downward direction. When it is moving in a downward direction, let me write it down so that it becomes easier as an objective part also. When an object is moving in an downward direction, the velocity goes on increasing. And when the velocity goes on increasing, it is accelerating. And when it is accelerating, we call it as a positive gravity, that is plus g. You are going to get your answer in positive term. That means it is called plus g. But if the object is thrown vertically upwards from ground surface, the velocity, the force with which you are applying on it, it was originally more. But as it goes upward, the velocity goes on decreasing and finally becomes 0. So can I say in such case, that is when it is falling upward or thrown upwards, vertically upwards, that time the velocity of the object goes on decreasing. So it is retarding. I told you, retarding. That is, your value of g will be negative. Remember this, while solving problems you are going to face these things like negative, when to apply negative g and when to apply positive g value. Getting it? Accelerating and retarding. Downward moving body is considered to be positive and vertically upward is considered to be negative. Now the value of g also is universal, because when you calculate g according to please listen carefully, according to Newton's law of gravitation, which we are going to learn in the further chapters, Newton's law of gravity, they have derived the complete value of g taking into considering the mass of the earth, the distance of the earth from the from any point. So all this formulation part, the value of g approximately comes out to be 9.8 meters per second square. It is used for solving problems. Until and unless specified, you have to use the value 9.8 meters per second square. But sometimes in your problems they give you, instead of 9.8, use 10 meters per second square, which is very close to it. Getting it? So this is your value of g. This is called as average value of g. But to discuss in detail, as we have already learned that earth is not circular in position, it is somewhat elliptical in position, elliptical in shape. That is, from the equator, from the center of the earth, the equator part and the pole part. Here the distance of the center of the earth from the equator part is more, distance is more, and here the distance is less. More the distance, less will be the value of g. So in your textbook it is specifically mentioned in red part, on the earth surface, that is g is maximum at the poles. G is maximum at the poles. Not mentioned in the textbook. The value of g at the poles is approximately 9.83 meters per second square, and at the equator it is minimum. Here the value of g is considered to be 9.78 meters per second square. Getting it? Just for your reference and just for your extra knowledge, this is the value of g. I said beforehand that value of g normally is considered to be 9.8 while solving problems, until and unless mentioned whether it is pole or equator. When it is in general, use 9.8 meters per second square, and if it is given to be pole, it is 9.83 meters per second square, and at the equator it is 9.78 meters per second square. So this covers the complete part of acceleration and gravity. The next part will be the derivation, that is the theoretical part. The problem part we are discussing later on, but first we complete the theory. The theory part, the learning part is this, all this. The part C is going to deal with the derivation, which is asked again for 4 to 5 marks, a complete derivation. But mostly in the exams they ask you by parts, either prove first equation, second equation or the third equation. So we deal with the different equations just to have a clear image. Have a look at the things like uniform acceleration, the definition, non-uniform acceleration, the definition, acceleration due to gravity, the definition part. Then your velocity, the value of g, whether it is positive or negative, depends upon the direction, downward direction and the upward direction, and the value of g, average value 9.8, and the extra explanation about the value of g at the poles and at the equator. So now students, we proceed with equation of motion, that is the C part of this chapter, where we are going to derive equation of uniformly accelerated motions. There are 3 derivations, that is the first one, v is equals to u plus at. V is equals to u plus at. The second equation to be derived would be s is equals to ut plus half at square, and the third equation to be derived is v square is equals to u square plus 2as. Getting it? These are called as three kinematical equations of motion. Three kinematic equations of motion. So how do we start with it? How do we proceed with it? For the first equation, that is your a part, that is your v is equals to u plus at. Just now while explaining acceleration, I told you that acceleration was defined as a change in velocity upon time. Before going through this, let me give you the abbreviations which can be used for derivation. If the object is moving with an initial velocity u, and after covering certain distance its final velocity becomes v, let it cover the final velocity in time interval t, then we say that the body is accelerating. That is, acceleration is denoted by a. But when it has accelerated or when it has moved with an increasing velocity, it has covered certain distance or displacement has taken place, which we denote by s. So this will be applicable while deriving the equations. Getting it? So this will be the abbreviations that I will be using for derivation. So here I said acceleration. Acceleration is change in velocity upon time, but change in velocity, I told you, it is final velocity minus initial velocity upon the time interval. We said acceleration was a, final velocity is your v, initial velocity is your u, and upon t. Getting it? Just substituting the abbreviations. Now when I cross multiply this, it becomes a into t. I have cross multiplied. So here remains is v minus u. Better I take the negative u on this side. When I take minus u on this side, it becomes positive with already plus at. Nothing, no sign means positive. So u which we have shifted here has become positive, plus at is equals to your v. So in short, if I reverse it and write it, v is equals to u plus at is your first derivation. That is, v is equals to u plus at. This is called as first kinematical equation. Getting it? I will denote this as equation number 1 because it will be applicable. The same formulation will be applicable later on in the second and the third part. Getting it? Okay. So we proceed further. Now the second kinematical equation. For the second kinematical equation, we are going to prove s is equals to ut plus half at square. What is your s over here? S is the distance or the displacement taken place. So can I say that the distance travelled, better I use the separate part so that it is easy for your reference. When I say the distance travelled is what is your average velocity into time. Now how did I derive this formula? Because in the previous part we had studied that velocity is equals to the displacement upon the time. So if I cross multiply displacement was denoted by s. Displacement was denoted by s. In the previous part we studied that velocity is displacement upon time. So when I cross multiply, your s becomes v into t. If you remember, I had told you Shivaji Maharaj terminus was originally called as VT terminus. So S is equals to V into T. What is your S? S is the displacement. Displacement can also be called as the distance traveled. V is your velocity. Here we consider average velocity, and T is your time. Getting it? Okay. So distance traveled. Distance traveled is your S, is equals to average velocity. Average velocity. How much or how many values of velocities are given to you? We have two, initial and final. So only in the calculation of mean or average, we have two observations. So when it is two observations, we add the two observations, that is u plus v. Average is u plus v upon 2, because we have two observations, into your time. Getting it? V, u plus v upon 2 into t. But from equation number 1, what was your equation number 1? Just now we proved here. Just look at it. Equation number 1, v is equals to u plus at. So here the value of v, instead of this value of v, I am going to substitute the equation of v, that is v is equals to u plus at. So equation 1 stated that v is equals to u plus at. So when I substitute this in our new equation, S becomes u plus v, but v is u plus at, full upon, there was 2 in the bracket with outside multiplied by t. Getting it? Just I have substituted the value of v. So further when I solve it, I am solving step by step. U plus u becomes 2 times u, plus there is a t, full upon there is 2, close the bracket, with outside multiplied by 2. This, sorry, outside multiplied by t. This t will be multiplied to the complete numerator. When it is multiplied to the complete numerator, your S becomes this into this. So it becomes 2u with t, 2u into t, plus t is multiplied with at. So t into t is t square. So it becomes a t square, full upon there is 2. Getting it? Full upon there is 2. Now just to make it easier for understanding, here the coefficient value is 2. Here there is no coefficient. I substitute it as 1. Let it be 1. So when I separate it into 2, that is 2at upon 2 plus 1 upon 2 at square. This 2 is dividing both the terms separately. So when I divide both the terms, this 2 and 2 cancels, but here the 2 remains in the denominator. What remains is S is equals to, okay, sorry, I have written a, it is ut. So what remains behind is just ut from here, and from here half with at square. So what I have proved is your second kinematic equation, that is S is u equal to ut plus half at square. This is your second kinematical equation in the derivation. Getting it? Have a better look at it. The previous part for your revision sake, just go through it. This is your second equation, S is equal to ut plus half at square, which I have derived by using the formula for distance travelled is average velocity into time, but the average velocity is u plus v upon 2 into t. Your u remains same, but the value of v, which was derived in the previous equation, first equation, wherein v was equal to u plus at, you have substitute this u as it is, v ke jagah par u plus at upon this 2 and t remains same. U plus this u has become 2 times u plus at as it is, 2 as it is and t as it is. This t is multiplied to both the numbers inside the bracket. So when multiplied by the first term, it becomes 2ut. By the second term, it is at square, because t into t is t square. Here I have put a coefficient 1 upon 2. Then happy birthday about it. That is s is equals to 2ut upon 2 plus half 180 square upon 2. 2 and 2 cancels over here, so ut is left. Here nothing cancels, so half 80 square remains. Therefore, s is equals to ut plus half 80 square. That is your second kinematical equation. Getting it? Easier? To proceed further, the third kinematical equation. The third kinematical equation. Let me have a space for it. Yeah. So, the third kinematical equation will proceed the same way. The third equation was v square. What we are trying to prove is v square is equals to u square plus 2as. So again I apply the same for the third derivation. That is, the distance travelled was same as the previous one. It was your average velocity into time. Distance travelled was denoted by s and average velocity was denoted by u plus v upon 2, and in the bracket outside there was t multiplied by t. Getting it? Then we proceeded the equation, first equation, but the equation number 1 had stated that v is equals to u plus at. Now just pay attention properly. Here we are trying to formulate or subject. We are going to change the subject. Here the subject is v, equation for v in the form of u and at. But now I am going to make the subject as t. So how do I make the subject as t? First shifting this value of u here. So v was already there, u I have shifted. So it becomes v minus u is equals to your at. Getting it? Simpler? U. Just u को shift किया है यहाँ पर. तो v minus u. But I said I want the subject t. So if I want subject t, this a should be replaced. A को कहाँ लेके जाओ? Take it down, because something when multiplied on one side will be divided on the other side. So now v minus u upon a will become the value for t. Getting it? So your t is v minus u upon a is equals to t. So now the first equation which was already there, that s is equals to u plus v upon 2 in one bracket into there was t, but the value of t is v minus u upon a. Getting it? This is from equation number 3. In the equation number 3, there was u plus v upon 2, which I have kept same, into t, but the t ka value I have derived over here. T has become v minus u upon a. So instead of this t, मैंने put किया v minus u upon a. Now according to rule of factorization, this is something like a plus b, a minus b. याद आ रहा है मैथ्स का फॉर्मूला? That is a plus b into a minus b is a square minus b square. So same here, only the variables have changed. Here v plus u and v minus u, becomes v square minus u square upon there is 2a. Getting it? 2 into a. Numerator multiplies with numerator, denominator with denominator. So according to this, v plus u and v minus u becomes v square minus u square upon 2a. Now I shift this 2a on the other side. When I shift it, it becomes cross multiplied. So it has become 2as is equals to v square minus u square. But according to the equation, I want v square. So better I shift this minus u square on the other side. So this minus u square becomes positive on the other side and becomes u square plus this 2as is equals to your v square. So this is your derivation for the third kinematic equation. Let me write it in a reverse and a proper way, that is v square is equals to u square plus 2as. This is your third kinematical equation. So as I told earlier, this is a lengthier proof, but it can be asked as a full for more number of marks, or it can be asked by part, derive the first kinematical equation, derive the second kinematical equation, or derive the third kinematical equation. Accordingly, it will be asked for 2 marks. So this is your derivation. Just go through it properly, revise it, write it 1 or 2 times so that the values and everything fits into your mind. Now I am going to give you some special cases for all the 3 equations when it is vertically moving or downward or upward direction, when we use positive values, and about the different velocities, initial and the final velocity. Now the special cases, there are 2 special cases wherein we apply these formulas and how the formula changes when the cases are special. So the first special cases, the first case is when a body starts from rest. If the body is starting from rest, can I say your initial velocity? Bacha log, what is initial velocity denoted by? Sir, it is denoted by u. Okay, u, that means u will become 0 meters per second. Value of u is 0. Okay, if it is 0, let us substitute the value of u as 0 in all the 3 equations. So first equation के अंदर v is equals to u plus 80 it was. So v is equals to, sir u के जगह पर 0 put up कर दो, तो 0 plus 80. 0 has no value, so your formula has become v is equals to just a into t. Getting it? First special case. Sir, second equation. The second equation was s is equals to ut plus half a t square. Again, s is equals to u ka value is 0. If u ka value is 0, whatever may be the value of t plus half as it is, a as it is, t square as it is. S is equals to 0 into anything is 0 plus half a t square. That means s is equals to 0 को नहीं लिखेंगे, only half a t square. Getting it? Simpler. So formula छोटा हो गया because u is 0. Again the third case. The third case के अंदर v square is equals to u square plus 2as. So when here I substitute the value of u as 0, ये बन गया 0 का square plus 2 as it is, a as it is and s as it is. 0 का square is 0 and 0 has no value, तो just 0 को निकाल दो, put up 2as. ये बन गया third shortcut equation. If it is mentioned that the body starts from rest. Getting it? Formula के अंदर directly you can apply or you can solve by the normal equations. ये normal equations use करके भी you can get the answer, but this is, they can ask you in exam, mention the special cases. So I have given you with complete proof part how the values are derived. V is equals to 80, S is equals to half 80 square and V square is equals to 2as. Now the second special case. What is the second special case? The second special case is if the body is moving with uniform retardation where a is negative. When there is retardation. I told you when it is retardation, the value of G is negative. But यहाँ पर we are dealing with G or A. It is one and the same. A is applicable vertically, when we are dealing with horizontal moving cars, and G is applicable when the object is moving either upwards or downwards. But here we are going to apply for the formula, because in the kinematical equation we haven't used G anywhere. We have substituted A. So A को हम लोग अगर नेगेटिव लेते हैं, if the value of A को हम लोग नेगेटिव लेते हैं, मतलब we are going to substitute A as negative, then your first equation, which was V is equals to U plus AT, will become V is equals to U plus ब्रैकेट के अंदर A नहीं सर, A नहीं, A के जगह पर माइनस A, क्योंकि इस टाइम रिटार्डेशन है, तो माइनस A इंटू टी. Therefore V is equals to U plus minus is minus AT. Just sign change हो गया because it is retardation. Same way for the second application, that is S is equals to UT plus half AT square. वापस से S is equals to UT will remain same plus half into A के जगह पर negative A, because again it is retardation. T का square will remain T square. Therefore S is equals to UT plus minus is minus, and this remains as it is, half AT square. वापस से the sign has changed. वैसे ही the third equation, which was V square is equals to U square plus 2AS. Here वापस से we change the value of A. V square is equal to U square plus 2 into A, but I said A के जगह पर we are going to put minus A because it is retardation, into S. So V square is equals to U square. What is plus minus? It is minus. The multiplication 2AS. Again the sign has changed and the equations have also changed. So this second special case about retardation, wherein we have changed the value of A to be negative, the equations become V is equals to U minus AT, S is equals to UT minus half AT square, V is equals to U minus AT, and S is equals to UT minus half AT square, and V square is equals to U square minus 2AS. Getting it? This is the end of the chapter. All the theory part has ended up. The problem part we will be solving later on, but for your test portion, this whole chapter will be coming, where theory as well as the derivation will be included. The message for today would be: stay home, stay safe, and stay studying, because this is the best time that you can utilize for studying. Please try to cooperate with this. Thank you, boys and the girls. Thank you, students.